And as promised, guys, I'm here on a Saturday with another Katekyo Hitman REBORN chapter review, and we are at chapter 98, guys. Two more chapters away from the big 100. We're gonna hit triple digits within the next 2 weeks, hopefully. Okay, so starting back from the ending of chapter 97, we were formally introduced to 20 years in the future Lambo. Now, the fight for the lightning ring between Levy or Leviathan versus Lambo. Of course, Lambo has shown that he does have some moves, even though he's 5 years old. So remember, his body can conduct electricity, and it doesn't hurt any of his organs, let alone his brain or anything of that sort. But as the situation was getting worse, because again, Lambo is 5, he's not really much of a fighter, despite what everybody might think, because he's an assassin originally from the Bovino family, but now adopted into the Vongola family. But again, in terms of skills, in terms of experience, Lambo basically has none. Okay, so he's going into this fight for the succession of the half rings to get the other half of the lightning ring from Leviathan to complete the set, and then having to give to Tsuna. And it was looking bad for him, and then he eventually did shoot himself with a 10-year bazooka. 15-year-old Lambo came into the view, and it was looking kind of good until he got stabbed by one of Levy's umbrellas. Okay, and then eventually when he did, he shot himself twice with the 10-year bazooka. This propelled 15-year-old to be 25-year-old Lambo. Now we go into chapter 98 where, 20-year Lambo's introduced. Obviously you can tell a massive difference between 15-year-old and 25-year-old, where 25-year-old, you can tell he knows what he's doing. The experience he has gained over the years. Okay, so he goes and he's like, oh, this situation looks very familiar. Okay, the situation looks very dreary, but I see faces I haven't seen for a long time. Obviously, by that time, Tsuna is 20 years older. He knows the Tsuna of that time, but again, he hasn't seen young Tsuna, current Tsuna, for quite a while, and everybody else as well. So he looks at Levy, and Levy is just like, it doesn't matter who you are, I'm going to win this battle, I'm going to kill you, get the other half ring for praise by Zanzes. Okay, so they go on to straight up just go back to fighting. So Lambo, of course, he picks up like his half ring because he had it on him in his afro and everything. It's kind of funny because he had a big afro when he was a kid, and then like over the years it becomes less kinky and more, it still got the curls and everything, but it's just kind of funny how that happens. So they go back onto the attack. Okay, Levy uses his umbrellas, which conducts electricity. The minute they point onto their target, it's a one-hit KO, and he does strike 20-year-old or 25-year-old Lambo, but it does little to no effect. Like, we already saw it with his 15-year-old self, but he still kind of did receive damage, but he was able to hold or conduct more of the electricity a lot better than his 5-year-old self. But now that we're dealing with 25-year-old Lambo, it's like, bro, it was a brush off the shoulders. It did not phase him at all. And you're like, can we have him in the team? 25-year-old Lambo? Okay, even Reborn is impressed by this, hence why he is. And then, might I add, soon as that, even though he said during the fight with Ryohei and Lusaria, he's like, yeah, I gotta go, I'm not gonna be back anytime soon. He comes back, he pops up, and he's like, there was a reason, technically, actually, he popped up, but before that, Reborn was just like, that's why he was very fitting to be the lightning guardian, because Lambo is the only one that can take lightning out of all the characters with little to no, well, he still would receive damage as his 5-year-old self, but compared to the others, he's just fine. Okay, it depends on how much electricity is being shot at him during the time. But with the horns that Tsuna's dad gave to him, and of course Gokudera wrote on it, it says dumb cow. Actually, it was from the Bovino family. For the 20-year-old or 25-year-old Lambo, it was more so for the sake of this is how he was going to be drawn to the present time. And I don't know how they were able to do that behind the scenes or anything. Like I don't know if 25-year-old, they of course didn't explain, but I don't know if 25-year-old Lambo came accidentally to present or past for him and gave the horns to, at the time, his family leader from the Bovino family, and said, keep this in case something happens. I can only guess that is the case. And so he kept it. Okay, and eventually gave it to Mitsu to give to current age Lambo. So he sees the horns and he uses it, just like 15-year-old did, using the horns to conduct electrical circuito, and it's way stronger than his 15-year-old self. Okay, before 15-year-old would have to be within range of his target to be able to use it, and Levy is thinking, you can use this move the second time and it's still not going to work. But again, we're dealing with an older, more experienced Lambo, 25-year-old Lambo. So he uses the same move, but he doesn't have to be within range. Okay, so once he uses his lightning spear or lightning rod type of move, it hits Levy, and Levy is cut up, bleeding and everything all over the place. And you're thinking Lambo is about to end it all in the next move. But before that happens, Poof of Smoke appears, and 5-year-old Lambo has come back from the future, and now everybody's worried because it's just like, oh my god, how is he going to beat Levy now? Because, 25-year-old had to be sent back. And the thing was, ever since Lambo first shot himself with the 5-year bazooka, and I will have to backtrack on what I said in the last chapter. It's not that their time gets cut in half. The time still remains 5 minutes. But because Lambo shot himself the first time, everything happened within the duration of 5 minutes. So it will still feel short, like the time is cut in half, but him going through 20 years all happened in the duration of 5 minutes. Okay, so Lambo was shocked by the lightning that himself and Levy used as an attack, and he's knocked out. He's knocked out, and now we have where Levy, who is like, you're not going to embarrass me. I'm going to win, because he wants to be praised by Zanzis. Because only the reason why he wants to be praised by Zanz is they just showed a mini flashback where Zanz said, you did a good job. And how he got into the Varia is because of the same move where he used all of the umbrellas to conduct the lightning to hit the strike, aka the one-hit KO, instant kill. So that's how he got to be an administrative operator, member of the Varia, because of that one special move that he has. And might I add, despite Levy not being a lot of people's favorites, you can't lie that move that he has is pretty cool. Okay, so we have 5-year-old Lambo now. He's back. He's down for the count because he got over electrocuted. He's fried, not to burn crisp, but like he can't get up. He can't defend himself. So Levy is using this chance to go on the offensive, and he's stomping on Lambo. He's kicking Lambo, and it's unnerving to Tsuna and everybody on his side, because they're watching a 5-year-old who can't defend himself against a grown man. Okay, and it's very uncomfortable when you watch, whether you watch or you read this scene, because it's just like, it was fine when it was like 15 or more so 25-year-old Lambo, but when it comes to the 5-year-old, it's very unnerving to see a child in a very helpless situation and no one is there to stop it. And we have where Gokudera, Yamamoto, and Ryohei are about to intervene, but again, because of the rules that the Cervello put on this scramble, this battle, if anyone interferes, they lose their half ring, and they're disqualified. and it's getting so bad and they're screaming for Lambo or somebody do something. All Reborn says is, yo, all we gotta do now is pray for him. And I said, no way. Not Reborn saying all we can do is pray. All we can do is pray for him now. Are you not? All we can do is pray for them. That's how I know. Yo, Reborn is Reborn is savage, bro. Cause he really said he's seen a 5-year-old getting brutalized. All we can do is pray for him. We can't intervene. Just pray for him. Pray for him to, go to heaven. See the parent upstairs. Okay. And everybody's just like, they're worrying and they're like very conflicted because it's like, do we go in and risk us losing our half ring and then getting disqualified, making a automatic win for the other side, or do we just watch our teammate perish before our eyes? And mind you, it's not just any teammate, it's a small child, younger than everybody in the entire field. Okay, younger than everybody. And so it gets to the point where Tsuna's just like, I can't stand for this anymore. So he's running to the arena and he's like, I won't feel comfortable knowing that I could protect Lambo, and I'm sitting here just waiting to see him, lights out. So he runs, and just before Levy can land the last devastating blow on Lambo, all the pillars fall down, and everybody's realizing how are they able to fall down and everything, and they realize they melted at some middle of it. It was melted, heat conducted it, and it melted these metal rods, and they're seeing who did that, how did that happen, and you see Reborn smirking with his gun, and then Tsuna ends off with the chapter. Let me just get into it. He's like, if I have to watch my precious comrades die with my own eyes, I wouldn't be able to atone for it no matter how many times I die. Okay, so he went into hyper dying will mode. Okay, this is the second time we've seen him without training or anything go into this mode, because the last time we saw him in hyper dying will mode was during the Kyoko arc. That was the first time he went into it. Now he's in the mode again, and you can obviously tell he's more comfortable being in this mode. You can obviously tell that, right? Versus the first time. So he stopped the fight. He held the wires that were holding up the rods and melted it from there and saved Lambo at the last minute. He saved him because the pillars fell down and it separated Levy from Lambo, from him landing the blow with his sharp umbrella, to stab Lambo. And yeah, that's how the chapter ended. Okay, so Lambo is saved, but because Tsuna intervened, we all know what that means. He, along with Lambo, are disqualified. We don't need chapter 99 to tell us. We know from here, and because of the rules that the Cervello place for this scramble for the half rings, again, anybody that intervenes, you lose your half ring and you're disqualified. So what happens afterwards now is that's up in the air. If you know, if you read or watched the series before, you know what happens. But if you didn't, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. But yeah, this is a bad situation, especially after they just won their first match. Okay, this is bad. This match was set up to be a horrible case, a horrible ending, because again, Lambo's the youngest guardian in Tsuna's group, not much of a fighter or anything, so it was just a bad matchup overall. So guys, do tell me in the comment section below on how you felt about chapter 98 of Katekyo Hitman REBORN. How do you feel about 20-year or 25-year-old Lambo? Do you wish you saw more of him? I kind of wish too. Okay, What do you think may happen, even though you know they've been disqualified, at least Tsuna and Lambo? What do you think may potentially happen afterwards? Okay, the links are in the description box, so you guys go check that out. And I'm Kimi Channel of Anime Legends, and I will see you guys later. Bye. With